Hey, welcome back to the Hotel Orloff. It's episode 918, I believe. It's October. No, not October. It is February 10th, 2024. And so I'm better than I was, but am I fully recovered? No. Still very tired. My wife has gotten sick. I brought home the sickness, and now my wife is sick. So I'm trying to get organized here. Trying to. The guy that runs the local museum across the street called me up last Saturday, a week ago, and said, "Hey, come by. I've got something for you," and gave me a World War II newspaper from here locally, and wanted to know if I knew how to format a book, because he's going to write he's going to write a book about the history of the town. And of course, I'm not very computer literate, so I said no, but I can help you with the editing, all that. I'm real good with that. So anyway, he's never even been in this place, so I thought, well, I need to invite him over, and I'm realizing this place just looks horrible. I need to really clean up and organize. So I've been organizing today. That's what I've been doing, man. Let me get this Crime Does Not Pay comic into a Golden Age box, first of all. Since ostensibly this is a comic book-oriented television program, I might as well show some comic books. Speaking of comic books, as a Valentine present, my wife ordered about $140, which I guess is perfect. February 14th, 140, so 14, anyway. Well, she was going to order $100, but an amazing viewer named Jeff that had gone in to Gotham City Comics in Mesa, Arizona, and donated $40 to my cause. And ooh, this tripod is wonky. Anyway, so and he left a Vampirella, Warren Magazine's Vampirella. That's the only Vampirella. Any of these Vampirellas being made today are not real, legitimate Vampirellas, in my opinion. Come on, stay up there, boy. Come on. You can't hold your liquor, falling over. Well, anyway, she ordered a bunch of books. I know what some of them are, because I said, make sure you pick this one and that one and that one for my whole pile. But then the rest she let the owner, Kevin Johnson, the owner and proprietor of the historic Gotham City Comics in Mesa, Arizona, give them a call, because if you're into monsters and comic books, that is the best store in probably the known world, civilization here on planet Earth for that. And anyway, so that was back on the 2nd of February. And then it was supposed to show up the 7th, and I thought, man, that's taken a long time, because usually when I order stuff from Gotham City Comics, I get it in 3, sometimes 2 days. It's like lightning fast. And, well, they said it would be the 7th, and then the 7th comes around, but usually they give me a date, but it's before that date when I look at the app on the phone. And it didn't come, so I call the post office the next day, and it's like, it looks like it's been misshipped. And so they sent it to the nearest city to me, and then they sent it to another state, and then they sent it. It's like, this same thing happened several years ago. Okay, so not to be conspiratorial, but what happens I asked my wife, she says, yes, the mail's been real bad lately. It started around Christmas, because she orders she doesn't collect comics and stuff like we do. She collects vintage cosmetics and things, and lipstick tubes from 1920 or something with Art Deco. Just stuff from the 60s. Basically, if you were a girl, what would be cool to collect, right? So, and they'll be weird. She says, I just don't watch where it goes day to day, and so I don't want to get nervous. But yes, things are taking sometimes a week or more now, and it just happened overnight. And then I talked to Kevin yesterday. He says, yeah, everything started to get real bad right around Christmas. Well, Christmas rush is over. So anyway, same thing happened right before the last, we don't want to say the E word, the last choosing, where people go and choose the person to run things. The post office started to get real bad just all of a sudden. You say, well, it was because of the pandemic. Well, there's no pandemic now. And it's just like all of a sudden there's a directive from on high. Okay, every 10th package, you need to ship it a couple of the wrong cities, ship it to the wrong place. They're trying to condition us to get us used to the mail taking a long time. So then when November rolls around, you'll just say, well, yeah, well, of course you got to wait an extra few days or maybe even a week for these vans to come in filled with peace. We don't have free speech, especially here on this platform. The things that people use to choose, they might be, the post office stuff's gonna come in late. It's just the way it is. Because people have short memories. No, but there was a time when you could get it like real super quick. Anyway, I think that's what's going on. It's just now we're gonna have. And I was every hour I was checking the little app. Where's my package now? Anyway, the current thing is now it went out of state and now it's back to the place it was about 5 or 6 days ago, and it's supposed to be here on Monday. So Monday, if I can, I'll do a show in the evening where I show you the stuff I got from my wife. It should be pretty spectacular. If not, I'll do it on Wednesday with 4-color fossils. No, Wednesday's Valentine's Day. I'm not doing a show on Valentine's Day. 4-color fossils is on Thursday this week, so I'll try to do it then. Anyway, I don't know that you care about all that. It just, the mail has been real bad. What am I even doing? Okay, I've got look at this. I'm going to show you something. This just happens to be my Planet of the Apes box. I was watching a YouTuber the other day, and the YouTuber held up this particular magazine, which I have several copies of here. I'm noticing here's another copy of this same issue. And this YouTuber said, I'm specking on this because there's a Planet of the Apes movie coming out. And Planet of the Apes has always been very popular. In fact, I'm a fan of Planet of the Apes. And I'm specking on this because, but the person said this, I try to remember, not an exact quote, but they said, there's nothing special about this issue. It's not a key issue. I just think it's kind of cool because, because it has a girl on the cover. And it's like, and I don't know. Planet of the Apes is sacred to me. And when someone says there's nothing special about that issue, it's not a key issue. There's something special about that issue because that came out when I was in 6th grade, and I remember where I bought it. Oh, I have 2 copies. I remember one of them, I remember where I bought it. The other one came along later. And I don't know, man. People that only collect key issues, I just don't understand these young whippersnappers and their key issues. But don't say there's nothing special about it. It's just a run filler because, man, and they're collecting pulps now. These spec slabbing people, because CGC, the slabbing company, is about to start slabbing pulps, and it's, by golly, the new frontier. We can buy pulps, and they're I could have not gotten into comics. It would have been very easy for me to wind up collecting, to being a model railroader guy, because my older brothers were into comic books when I was learning to walk. But then my oldest brother, and to a small degree my middle brother, there were three of us, was into model trains, and I was fascinated with trains as a little kid, and I have, issues of model railroader and everything. And now I've got enough room in this house where I could actually have a big train layout and everything. And maybe I should have gotten into that, because just watching what's the mockery that this hobby has become, people buying comics that are sealed in plastic that they can't read, and they're just collecting the cover because the cover's kind of cool. I just don't give it, man. But, I'm sure they'll figure out a way to seal all the little train cars in plastic so you can't ever actually have them choo-choo around the layout. They'll take the fun out of everything, man. Well, anyway, I got stuff to do here, so I don't have time for this BS. You can watch me do stuff. And then I'm going to be in a much better mood because I'll have stuff done. So, let me move this box in here. Oh man, I need to go look. I need to show some Creature from the Black Lagoon masks, because Kevin from Gotham City Comics. Oh, here's the Gotham City sticker here. This is the store, man. Gotham City Comics and Collectibles. I'm going to put this sticker on one of these boxes over here. There's a Trump rally going on right now in South Carolina. I'm going to watch it later. And tomorrow's the big Super Bowl, which I've been told I should be excited about. They say that more people will watch the Super Bowl, that it will be the most viewed program in the history of television, including the moonwalk, tomorrow's Super Bowl. I guess everybody is all worried about war and the economy, all that. And so this is a big distraction, and it's Kansas City, which is the popular team around where I'm at, versus the 49ers. And there we go. Almost all these Silver Age boxes now have Gotham City stickers on them. I keep asking him for stickers and feel like I'm being a real jerk because, he obviously had to pay for them. But I'm trying to give him publicity. I just think these stickers look really handsome on the front of these boxes. And it gives the collection a uniformity, And in fact, I just think it looks good. Anyway, so the big news is Taylor Swift is now going to be doing the national anthem, and she's probably going to be in the Deadpool trailer that's going to appear in the middle of the Super Bowl as the Disco Dazzler. That's what she was originally called. At some point they decided when disco became very unpopular all of a sudden around 79 or 80, and all the kids started carving into their school desks, "Disco sucks." She just magically became the Dazzler instead of the Disco Dazzler. I remember that happening. So that'll just be amazing. And I don't know, man. I don't care about football. I don't care. I just never cared about sports. I don't know. As a kid, I had terrible hand-eye coordination, and then I found out in third grade that I needed glasses. And glasses, I was always just, real. I just never got into sports, man. So, my father had a baseball scholarship. His dad was a professional baseball player and everything. I should have the genetics to be into sports, but I just never did it, man. I never went down that rabbit hole. I couldn't tell you anything about the 49ers or the Kansas City Chiefs. I've been told that I should be for the Chiefs, but the Chiefs seems to be a team that's been bought and paid for by the New World Order and this Taylor Swift annoying. People say, "Oh, we just love her." Well, is her music good? I know one song that she did, the "Shake It Off" song. I can remember the tune to it. I don't particularly like it, but I've heard other songs by her, but they're not memorable. I'm far more into Tony Tennille for her. How could you? There's this many people into Taylor Swift. What about the Carpenters? What about Patsy Cline? These wonderful vocalists, Ella Fitzgerald from history. And then I just realized everything I like, music, comics, movies, everybody that made the stuff I love is no longer alive. All of the men that made this comic magazine are no longer alive. The child that bought it is 98% chance that the child that bought this is no longer alive. All those Golden Age comics from World War II, bought by little kids, these comics were treasured by those little kids. They kept them their whole life in somewhat decent condition where they were, now you have them 80 years later, those kids aren't alive anymore. And sometimes you sit and think about it, and it's kind of depressing, and then you realize, oh, I've got to keep this comic in perfect condition. And then you realize, I'm not even going to probably be here in 20 years. I may not be here in 10 years. The way I feel right now, I don't know if I'll be here next Saturday, man. And I'm worried about, will my DVDs have laser rot? Will my CDs? I hear that they might not last 50 years. I'm not going to be here in 50 years, man. I'm not going to, one of these transhumanists is going to have my brain put in a computer. I'd like to think everything will survive, but so my wife can have to dispose of all this. Because we don't have any children. I don't know. We're insane, aren't we? We're just absolutely insane. Okay, so here we go. So here's Crime Does Not Pay number 61. And that one there, what number? Oh, that's 65. I'm trying to complete my run. It's a great comic, man. There's some hardcovers that put out that I think I have one of them. I wish I had them all, but I can't to get them all, man. This is, here's 114. Look, it came out in the afternoon, July 19th, mid-7/19. One summer afternoon, July 19th of, I don't know, maybe 1950, 51. I have to open it up to find the year This comic was hit the rack somewhere. I don't know. Here's 132. Meyer Greenblatt has more of these than I do. I've talked with him a few times lately, yeah. He's doing good. I should root for the 49ers just for his sake because he's in San Francisco and that's who he's rooting for. And everyone tells me that this isn't around here, that Kansas City is just all the Illuminati team. So who knows? Okay. Hey, everybody. My sister's better than Taylor Swift, and here she is. It's Marie Osmond. Hey. Hello. I'm a little bit country. I'm a little bit rock and roll. I'm a little bit of Memphis. Got a little bit of Motown in my soul. Don't know if I like Taylor Swift, but I know I hate her so. I'm a little bit country, and I'm a little bit rock and roll. Woo! So how are you guys doing on this sunny Saturday afternoon? Tomorrow will be Sunday. Sunday. Okay, all right. We don't have time for this nonsense. Comic books are a serious business. Well, I see some of the four-color fossils are having a rebellion against the Super Bowl by going live tomorrow during the Super Bowl. I think Night Tiger and Jambo and Charlton 66 are doing a live stream where they're going to show off Western comics from the Golden Age in protest of the Super Bowl, I suppose. Okay, let me, that should be something. It might be better to watch the Puppy Bowl because none of those puppies are dating Taylor Swift, and they don't have satanic ceremonies during the halftime. I also need to see if the LFL is doing anything. They need more viewership in the LFL football league, I think. That football I can watch. I may not understand the rules, but I can watch that. LFL. Okay. Yes, indeed. I'm moving my Mad magazines into this new closet. There are 8 billion souls on this speck of dust called planet Earth. I wonder how many of those 8 billion souls are moving boxes of Mad Magazine right now as we speak. Probably an incredible number. Okay. I've been working all day, man. In the coal mine. No, I've been working in the garage today. Like a real man. Not someone that collects comic books and other things like that. Okay, what's in this box? Hey, man. All about the twist craze that's rocking the nation. Oh, this is the box I was wanting to find. I want to make a poster of this cover. From June of 1967. Yes, indeed. I think I've shown you all this stuff before. I don't know, man. Here's a. This is Charlton. You know it's Charlton when you open it up and you find these mysterious numbers that Charlton used to do, and it's like, what does that mean? This is Charlton's Famous Monsters imitation. I bought this when I was a little kid, and I need to be careful showing these books because sometimes I show a book and it looks like I'm recommending the book, and in reality I'm just saying I'm nostalgic. This book brings out waves of nostalgia because I bought it when I was a little kid, but if I had bought it last month I might have thought, this is a little substandard, because I know I showed it, and the Crypt Keeper of Castle Hills on one of his streams was showing that he bought the entire every issue of this magazine. And he said, because Gratu was talking about how great it was. I miss his show, man. I gotta call him. He was kicked off of YouTube. Gosh, it must be 4 months ago, at least. I don't know. Well, anyway, this magazine was put together by my arch nemesis. Graphic Man has his Gil Kane, and I don't know what other artists are there out there that really annoy people. Rob Liefeld and stuff. This is the paintings. That's a good painting. I mean, they don't let it cover much of the cover, but and actually, it's not a bad cover. I mean, it's not a terrible magazine, but the guy is my nemesis isn't Gil Kane. I love Gil Kane. It's Tony Tallarico. I've told you that before. Look at this great ad on the back, though. You could get prints of paintings from the Night Gallery TV series. And they have a preview of a new series called Nightmare Theater that I don't think I've ever seen any episodes of Nightmare Theater Review. I bet they're on YouTube, possibly. Well, see, you look at it and you say, oh, that's Tony Tallarico's handwriting. I can recognize that anywhere. Man, that's funny. There's a talk with a 70,000-year-old teenager. So this is, there was a TV show on in the 74-75 school year season called, what was it called? Korg, right? Korg 70,000 BC. And it was a Hanna-Barbera show but it was a Hanna-Barbera live-action show. Hanna-Barbera didn't normally do live-action, maybe with the Banana Splits. That was weird because it was a Banana Splits was a Hanna-Barbera show, but the suits of the Banana Splits were done by Sid and Marty Krofft. I think I'm right, and I could be wrong. You'll probably tell me in the chat if I'm wrong. But here's the little sketches of what the characters are going to look like, making it look like they were going to do an animated series, but no, they just got some ugly guys and slapped some makeup on them, and you'd probably find someone like that in the streets of San Francisco pooping on the sidewalk today and just, hey, would you like to play a caveman in our Saturday morning show? Yeah, it looks like it's it almost looks like they intended at the beginning for it to be an animated series, and they just said, the heck with it, let's just film real bums being cavemen. Yeah, anyway. I never watched that show. I've never seen one episode of it. There were 3 prehistoric shows in the same year. There was Land of the Lost, which I watched every episode. There was Valley of the Dinosaurs, which I never watched. That was an animated series. I never watched that. And there was this Korg 90,000 BC, and I never watched that either. I think Meyer Greenblatt was watching this about a year ago and was telling me it's good. That means that Valley of the Dinosaurs and Korg were on against something else that I watched. Yeah, he even puts his little... See, this is Tony Tallarico, and this is why I don't like him, because I just think his art is ugly. He's the guy that did that comic with Dracula as a superhero. Look how he fills up space, man. Look, how's that for production design? Frankenstein. Through the years, you have one still, and you cover 2 pages. Famous monsters could do this kind of filling up pages with far more style. Yes, indeed. Yeah, it's Tony Tallarico trying to... Tony Tallarico. I think Tony Tallarico has some art in Vampirella #1. I mean, he got a lot of work. I don't know, man. There's something wrong with it. Something wrong with that man. Probably a wonderful man, nice family man. He's probably a great guy. He'd probably be a wonderful next door neighbor. He probably keeps his lawn really nice. He's probably a good cook, but just don't like his art. Here's another copy of that same magazine. Here they're introducing Esmeralda as the host of this monster magazine. It's Quasimodo's monster magazine, I'll have you know. Oh, it has William Shatner talking about Star Trek. Let's look at this magazine. It's just very nostalgic. It's just reminiscent to me of this wonderful time when I was 10 years old. Oh my God. Look at that. Joel's Fact or Fiction. Look at that terrible drawing, man. It looks like he has spider webs on him, or... Yeah, who knows what that is. And here's the answers to like a crossword puzzle and another part of the book. It's just all this white space, hideous. It's just ugly design, production design. You say, well, Craw 2, you think you could do better? Yes, I could. In fact, I'll show you. I've done magazines, so I'm not just whistling Dixie. I'll show you. Here's I used to do a magazine called The Sophisticate, and here I just noticed I have this was going to be issue 19. It never went to press, but this is what the magazine was going to look like. The Sophisticate, Entertainment for Ghouls, right? October 1997. This is my production design. This is what my magazine would have looked like. Iris Bristol, the British pinup model, surrounded by gorilla apes from Beneath the Planet of the Apes. And then it says, the magazine that respects your intelligence, which I took right off of Amazing Fantasy, number 15, or one close to that. I wonder why they decided Frankenstein and the Monster from Hell just to make him look so hideous. Yeah, the photographs aren't reproduced too well. It looks like they're kind of Xeroxed. Oh, look. William Shatner on Star Trek. Of course, they do the ghoulish, horror letters, but which are completely inappropriate for Star Trek. But at least this is an imitation of Famous Monsters. Famous Monsters never covered Star Trek. In the 60s when it was on the air, it never did. It didn't cover Star Trek. And Star Trek had monsters. They could have printed pictures from, but they never covered Star Trek until the movie came out in 1979. Did Famous Monsters do something on Lost in Space? I don't recall that. I know they gave a cover story to Land of the Giants. I don't know. Ugly puzzle. That was something else, the Bruce Lee phenomenon. This poor guy, okay, he comes to Hollywood as the Green Hornet's sidekick, Kato. The series only lasts one season, but everyone acknowledges, hey, this guy's got some star potential. They don't use him much in the show, as much as they could have. Okay, so he goes back to Hong Kong, makes some movies, works his way up, the Big Boss, the Chinese Connection, all that. Then Hollywood says, hey, let's try, this guy's making a lot of money. The movies would come over and play in the inner city theaters and drive-ins, and they were making tons of money. Let's get this guy. He can speak English. Let's put him in another American movie, but let's make it a big deal. Let's film it like a James Bond movie. In fact, let's get John Barry, the guy that does the James Bond music, to make music for it. It's going to be a big movie where Bruce Lee is like the secret agent martial arts guy, and he's going to go to this island run by this martial arts. It's going to be like fantastic. And it was fantastic. It was called Enter the Dragon. And right before the damn movie comes out, right before it premieres, Bruce Lee dies. And I think he died from a reaction to aspirin. And I think I could be wrong on that, but at least if it's something, he doesn't really seem to have the physique of someone that does illicit drugs. But it was that time period, and it was Hollywood, but anyway, I don't know what happened to him. But anyway, so he didn't live to see his. And then, of course, Enter the Dragon comes out, so he's the biggest star in the world. How are we going to get another movie? Well, he started this movie, he filmed some fight scenes. Well, okay, we got to finish it. So let's make a cardboard Bruce Lee mask and put it on some guy and film enough scenes that we can use those fight scenes. That was called Game of Death, right? And then anytime they could find any way to cobble together some Bruce Lee unreleased footage and put it out as a movie, they do that, and then they ran out, so they had to get other people, like it's Bruce Lee. Well, then they got some other guy named Bruce Lee, but it's Bruce Li. And then they put those movies out, and pretty soon, I remember they used to have Kung Fu Theater in the 80s, I think on the USA Network on Saturday afternoons, and I'd argue with people and say, I just saw this Bruce Lee, that wasn't a Bruce Lee movie. It said it was Bruce Lee, yeah, but look at the spelling, it's L-I, not L-E-E. And it's like trying to convince them. I remember in third grade having this Abbott and Costello conversation with a fellow third grader, because I was just discovering Marvel Comics and Stan Lee, who, he said he created everything. And I was impressed with him, and I was trying to explain, I mentioned Stan Lee, and then he said, well, what's his last name? And he said, well, Lee's his last name. Yes, it's Stan Lee. Stan Lee sounds like Stanley, like it's one name. And I don't know, we went back and forth 5 minutes. I couldn't convince him that it's Stan, first name, Lee, second name. He's just like, no, what's the second? Funny, the things you remember as you approach your twilight years, the foolishness, the folly of youth. Boris Karloff playing Fu Manchu. It's amazing. It kind of looks like me a little bit, man. Maybe I could be Fu Manchu. Here's a good way to fill up 2 pages. Take one still, fill up 2 pages. I guess it's kind of spectacular. Oh my gosh. My wife's never seen Boris Karloff in The Mummy. We're going to be watching some Universal horror movies soon. We watched... we get on these kicks where we watch movies and... Anyway, that's there are a lot of other monster magazines you can buy before you buy this thing. I wouldn't highly recommend this, but I buy any monster magazines I run across, ladies and gentlemen. So that's the way it goes. Here's kind of a rare one. I probably should have it bagged and boarded, but I don't because I don't have much money. I don't know what do you guys do for a living, man? Everybody's buying books right and left and showing them off. I just don't have the money to do anything. But at one point, I bought all this stuff. This is Thriller. How about that? This is in. It presents well, doesn't it? Look, you can barely notice the little things torn. February 1962. It's volume 1, number 1. It's deceptive. I'm not really that sick. I very rarely cough. Okay, well. It's more, it's like stories, right? So, like, the vampire is a sucker. So it's kind of laid out like a men's adventure magazine. Here's a guy killing the vampire. But what basically it's like a pinup magazine. It's not like a monster magazine covering movie monsters. It's horror stories. That it's actually a wonderful thing. I just wish it had gone longer. This may be the only issue of it. The Secret Horror of Mr. Hyde. Yeah, these are all stories. Some of the pictures actually come from horror movies, but it's just the girl and the monster. So, you're probably wondering, Dr. Orloff, who put this thing out? Oh, Myron Fass. Oh, doesn't that make sense? He's the guy Eerie Publications. He's the guy that put out all those garishly horrifying covers. Myron Fass. Or perhaps it's Foss. The world may never know. What do we got here? Oh my gosh, look at this beautiful cover. Drag cartoons. Well, that was a time when drag, you say drag and you think drag racing. Nobody uses the word drag anymore or do they? I guess they do. It just seems like everything. Never mind. I ain't even get into that. Don't want to go down that rabbit hole, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so I'm glad I know where that John Wayne magazine is because I want to make a color copy of that blown up this big, or maybe actual size, put it in a frame, and present it to the owner of the barbecue restaurant 2 blocks from here as a present because he makes wonderful food. He's been nice to us. Both Christmases we've been here, first Christmas he brought us a cooked ham because we're such regular customer. I mean, and it's just one of the nicest people that we've encountered here. And he has a barbecue restaurant that's open 3 nights a week, and next to it he has a gun store. And And we need to buy some more guns, more firearms, ladies and gentlemen. Because apocalypse is coming, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. And his whole restaurant is that can you see me? Hello. His whole restaurant is filled with John Wayne memorabilia. John Wayne was born 53 miles and 12 feet from this very spot. Okay, we'll see what. So what are you guys doing today on this wonderful day? You guys all sick? Tell me if you're sick down below. By the way, man, I just need 6 people to subscribe to this channel, and I'll have 700 subscribers. If you have not subscribed to this channel, I implore you to hit the subscribe button and the thumbs up, or whatever that stupid icon is that means a like. And then I'll be up to 700. Yeah. Apparently, 60% of the people that watch this channel are subscribed. If the other, in other words, out of every 10 people, 6 are subscribed, but there's 4 that aren't. If you 4 out of each 10 would subscribe, then I will have many more subscribers, and I will be closer to 1,000. And when I get to 1,000, then the folly of coming on here and doing shows will become less obvious. It will look like I'm actually doing something important for the world. Well, there is an insider that says that right around Valentine's Day, there's going to be a big release from the Donald Trump camp of information regarding the choosing in 2000 that shows what really happened. Look at this. We'll see if it happens. I don't know. It could be BS. This is the... look at this, man. This magazine is from the nice folks at Famous Monsters. It shows kids how to make cool, like you can become a weirdo with just stuff around the house. And Hoarder Mike did this one on his show around Halloween. How about that? This is neat. You know who was the designer of this? Not Tony Tallarico. You can tell that it's designed by someone with a much better handwriting, because this is all handwritten. Look at that. The way that's written, it's not Tony Tallarico. It's actually someone we all admire greatly. And look at the lettering. It's a hint. I'll give you a hint. It's someone you know from EC. It's someone you know from Mad Magazine. It's someone you know. Why, he even drew a few issues of Daredevil and Thunder. You know, he's the creator of Thunder Agents. Why, it's Wally Wood. And what he did is he took stills from, like, they must have spliced frames out of this movie. They must have cut up a print like insanely so he could turn it into a comic book. And he did it masterfully, because this is it's a great movie. I've got a poster for it. Don't I have a poster for it over there sometimes? Yeah, I do. It's sometimes you forget what's on your walls. it makes it. It's a great movie, but the book is far scarier than the actual movie because it makes it look like it's so brutal. Uh, the, this monster that comes up out of the water, and he touches up. He touches he touches up the photos and makes them look perfect. Um, it's just here's somehow this is one of the greatest of this. When Stan Lee called it fumetti in Crazy Magazine in 1973, so I've always called it fumetti, this Italian form of doing comics uh, with photographs instead of drawing illustrations. Um, but Paulo Costa on Four Color Fossil says no, fumetti actually means something else, and I believe him, because but what can I say? Stan Lee taught me that it's called fumetti, so I call it that. Anyway, this is a great issue, and he also did Mole People, which has Hugh Beaumont in it. Yeah, see. You probably are saying, Gratu, I think you're full of shit. I don't. I'll show it to you. I'll show you Wallywood's name. James Warren, publisher, and story adaptation and art direction, Wallace Wood and Russ Jones. Yeah, I don't pull your leg here, man. It's not hyperbole. It's not a joke. Oh man, we saw pretty much the. Did you see the press conference that Biden put out? They, because Biden had all these classified documents all over the place in his house and his garage that he was not allowed to take out as the vice president. But then Trump had all these classified documents that he was allowed to take out as president. But this, they came back and said, well, he's a well-meaning elderly man, but he just doesn't, he's just so forgetful. We can't take him to court for it, so we're just going to let him go. But Donald Trump, it's 100 times worse. So he came out indignant, but I think it was all rigged. I mean, it's all staged. He came out, how dare he say that I couldn't remember when my son... Because if you watch the full feed of that press conference, the guy comes out, lays out this black book, opens it up to a certain page, and then Biden comes out, does his little few-minute-long press conference, and I'm indignant. Yes, I'm elderly. Yes, I'm well-meaning, but I'm not forgetful. Like Nixon saying, I am not a crook. You can just tell it's pretty much the end. And so, okay, so what's going to happen? They're going to put someone else in. So then Biden pretends to walk out, where he walks like this. And someone asks a question, and he goes back. And before he was reading the teleprompter, now he looks down at that black book that had been laid out for him. And they had written it, yes, Biden is frail and he's always been stupid, but he's to a certain degree he's faking the I'm so forgetful stuff because he's a criminal and they don't need him to it's just like, I just didn't know who I was talking to when I was on the phone with my son Hunter. I didn't know that they were his business partners. I was just talking about the weather because I'm an innocent, frail, well-meaning old elderly man. Anyway, so they had him start talking about the president of Mexico, and it was and he basically was saying Mexico's next to Israel, but I think that they had planned him to make that. I think that was a planned mistake, and so now all the media is like turned against Biden, and it's all fake. It's all staged. They had planned this months ago. And then I guess they're going to bring in Michelle Obama. as the new person to run, because I don't think they'll bring in Newsom. I don't think he's popular enough. But Michelle Obama, I think there's enough stupid people that might vote for her. And if the rumors are true, and she says, well, I'm not actually, there's something I never told you, then everyone will say, oh, that's so brave and so wonderful. You'll be the first of those to ever be, the rumor is that she's a man and that the two children were actually, because whenever you saw Biden with and the wife with those two kids, there was another couple that was always with them. Then they're saying that they're the real parents and they were just there as a photo op. Who knows? I think everything we almost ever been told has been a lie. Going back, and I think normal people are gonna start realizing that just about their minds are about to be blown here in the next few months. That everything has been. Almost everything that we've ever been exposed to has been an untruth, but who knows? They sure got their minds blown with that Tucker Carlson interview. Because if it turns out that Russia's actually a freer country with more tolerance of speech than this country, that's going to really blow people's minds. But you didn't come here to talk about politics and conspiracy theories. You're here to look at funny books and speculating. And where's my list? I don't have the right list anymore. I've got it in my coat. Dang it. What do you want to see, man? Why are you even here? No, I love you, yes I do, and I'm saving all my love in jail for you. The original version he's saying, I'm saving all my love in jail for you. And then, when you got this teeny bopper idol singing the song, it's like, well, I don't know about that. Why don't we just sing it, instead of saving all my love in jail for you, why don't we say, saving all my love and just for you. Isn't that better? No, it's not. Now you're not a horrible criminal who did who knows what. Now your song can be played on the radio and be more wholesome. Snoopy and the Red Baron by Charles M. Schulz. He's a Who fan. Oh, I've been listening to there's a lot of playlists on YouTube of Sunshine Pop. You know what Sunshine Pop is? It's a phenomenon of pop music, mid to late 60s, that's just so hopeful and exuberant and bright and vibrant, like up and away in my beauty, that stuff, great stuff, man. It's just so much fun, it's just there's so much stuff like that. It just helps you forget about your cares and woes. And whenever I hear up and away, the original version of that was done by a group called the Sunshine Company, which I've been unaware of this group my whole life. But I guess their big hit was Rain. But anyway, they covered They did Up and Away before the Fifth Dimension did it, but the Fifth Dimension had the hit with it. Um, but whenever I hear Up and Away, it reminds me of like in kindergarten and first grade, and the kids would be in the gym, right? Indoor gym, and we'd be around this parachute, and we would do this parachute play, and then we would billow up this parachute. We all hold on to it all the way around and billow it up, and then we'd go under the parachute, and then we'd have this big canopy above us, and the gym teacher would always have the 45 of Up and Away playing while we did that. And I wonder, do kids do that parachute kind of play anymore? Because we're talking about 1971, when Up and Away was still a song you could hear playing on the radio, and it wasn't an oldie yet. And I just remember that was a really that was a great memory of being a kid. And I look on YouTube, and they still do it, except now they're all very colorful parachutes. I think the parachute we were using was probably military surplus, because we were on an army base. I don't remember it being all these bright colors all around. But my memory could be wrong. Who knows what evil? Who knows what evil? Shit, these are some beat up comic books, ladies and gentlemen. But they present well. Doesn't that present well? Yeah, I know it doesn't look too good, but you still can read it. And George Kell of the Boston Red Sox, there he is, man. These books were beat up books that I got from Lone Star Comics. This one didn't look too bad. You look at the back, it's got some kind of weird staining. They were talking on the Comic Book Memories show this morning that Johnny Blaze is still their favorite Ghost Rider. I don't know any other Ghost Rider. I never read that stuff in the 90s, Spirits of Vengeance and all that. The only thing I know is Johnny Blaze. That was my Ghost Rider. This one is not, well, it's got a fold. Back in the old days, Lone Star Comics, which is now mycomicshop.com, would sell you big, thick stacks of comics sealed, and they were called Wounded Wonders, and they'd be all, some of them would be more messed up than others, and they'd all be, they had on there that everything in there is earlier than 1975. And they'd be books that they just couldn't sell. This one doesn't look too bad either. I'll pull these, but you know, like this kind of thing is, yeah, that's below my standards. And this is unacceptable too. It's a shame, because it looks like it would be a great issue. I wonder if I have that issue. I had to check. That's 333. That'll give me something to do. Let's see, 333. Let's look and see if we have Action Comics 333, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. How easy will it be to find that box? Here it is. Man, that was pretty easy. I'm so glad my comic collection's starting to get more organized. And then it'll be like a Twilight Zone episode, and then a nuclear mushroom cloud will go off. Everything's in perfect order. How wonderful. Yeah. What was that one? What did I say? It was Action. What? It's just so disgusting. 333. Very Masonic number, I guess. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, what? My earliest. Ooh, here's 270. This is as Higgy Pop would say in woo minus. Actually, worse than that. I think if you sent that to CGC, they'd give you a negative number. Is that even possible? Here's 283. Question is, do I have 333? Because if not, I may have to get that. Oh, this is a wonderful cover. That's the jury that they'll get for Donald Trump, man. You know it. Of course, they'd all vote to acquit him because they're nice people. Let's see. 288. Here's 292. Well, I think they're going to start filming the new Superman movie within a few weeks, or possibly they've